What an interesting podcast today's episode is. Thanks for coming back every week. I always say this at the end. I'm going to say in the beginning this time. Thanks for coming back every week. Thank you for your emails. Thank you for your episode suggestions. Thank you for your book club suggestions. I love all of them. I read every single email. I don't get to respond to all of them, but I really do appreciate them. So thank you for coming back again. This week is another really interesting conversation. So I got a reading from a medium, and his name is Nigel Gaff. He was so amazing in that some of my grandparents came to see me in this reading, and he described them physically so accurately. It was just undeniable that they were here. It was an amazing experience. So I asked him if he'd come back and talk to me about being a medium. And he did. So today we get to have a conversation, or I get to have a conversation with Nigel about what it's like to be a medium. And I thought it was just a great chat. So much stuff I didn't know or understand. He describes the differences between a ghost, a spirit, and a poltergeist, which was really helpful. We talked about the human psyche some. We talked about all kinds of stuff. So it was a really good conversation with a medium about being a medium. So I hope you enjoy this as much as I did. I absolutely loved getting to know him better, because when he came to give me my reading, I didn't get to know much about him. And when I'd asked him if he'd come back, it's because I wanted to understand who he was. It was a pretty amazing person. So I hope you enjoy the conversation as much as I did. And yeah, if you know anybody who'd be interested, share the podcast with them. And here's the conversation I had with Nigel Gaff.
Anyway,
So you've been a medium for a long time.
I've been a medium since I was born, I think, but I've worked professionally as a medium now for 35 years.
That's a long time.
It is 3.5 decades, yeah.
Can you turn it off?
Pretty much, yeah. I just focus in other areas of my life. So I go to the gym every day, sort of train.
Yeah.
I like a drink. I just turn it off. Yeah, I don't think about it. So when it's time to work, I link in. So I will avert my gaze. I will change my vibration, my energy, to link into the vibration of spirit.
Yes. Your physicality is very different when you are, because for people listening, you gave me a reading 2 days ago. Yeah. 2 days ago.
Yeah.
An amazing one, by the way.
Thank you.
It was, I was telling someone I expected to be very emotional, and instead I just felt very full.
Okay.
I felt really full.
Yeah.
Which was a great feeling.
Yeah.
But your whole demeanor changed. Your whole physicality changed as you moved from person to person you were talking to. It was really amazing to watch. As like I said, I'm quite curious. So I was curious to see what happened for you when that's happening.
That's very fascinating, because I don't actually realize that I do change.
You do. When you started talking about my grandmother who had bad knees, you were you couldn't, I think the rest of the reading you rubbed your knees.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, the whole reading.
Okay.
And I thought either she's still here or that pain was really bad.
Yeah.
And it's just stuck for a minute in his knees.
Yeah, bless. Yeah, well, that's probably the case. I honestly don't realize that I change from spirit to spirit. And it makes sense that I do, I guess. I don't really remember anyone's reading either, to be honest with you. So
that's interesting.
Yeah, so when I finish my reading with you, it just leaves me completely.
So it's like you're almost like not a portal, but kind of a messenger / portal. And as soon as the message is delivered, your job is done. That's kind of good for you.
Yeah.
Could you imagine if you walked around with all these?
I wouldn't be able to cope. You know? How would I sleep at night? It would be impossible. So, yeah, no, it's when I'm working. When I'm not. I'm switched off.
So did you have to learn? How did you learn? First of all, what was it like as a child to be a medium? What was that like?
Scary, to be honest. When I remember my mother would put me to bed at night and settle me down and turn the light off. And as I drifted off to sleep, or in that in-between stage, I could see spirit walking down the corridor, into my bedroom. And it used to terrify me, and I would wake up screaming. My mother would settle me down, and it was terrifying. And I think once you get to about 7 or 8 years old, the energy system closes, the chakra system closes down, and then the soul feels physical again. So the soul feels grounded in this dimension, in this world, and all that closes. And that kind of went away for a few years until I met another medium, Peter Richards, who read for me and said, you can do this. And it absolutely shocked me and stunned me.
How old were you then?
That was about 38 years ago, 39 years ago.
So you were an adult.
Yeah, I was an adult.
Yeah,
I was an adult. And that came as a bit of a shock. But from that point on, he invited me to sit in a circle. And the circle is basically a development circle for like-minded people, but should be run by a medium. And I sat in his circle, and everything started to change then.
Really?
Yeah, everything took off. Started to see them and feel them and know things. And and that got scary again, because it came as a shock, really. But shouldn't be a shock, because we're all spirits anyway. So.
Yes, I think some people just have, just like an artist. I mean, I can draw a picture.
Sure.
I can have an intuition.
Yeah.
But I can't. I'm not Picasso.
No.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So I think people like you are a Picasso.
Sure.
Where I'm just good at drawing.
Yes.
It's so fascinating. So did it come on very quickly after you met Peter?
It did, actually. Yeah, quite a shock, to be honest with you, because the door opened really fast for me, and I just didn't know what to do with it. And it was a good job Peter was there, because Peter took charge, took care of me, looked after me, and made sure that I was okay. But yeah, very...
So he mentored you, sort of.
He did, yeah.
And helped you figure out, well, were you able to turn it off and turn, to, like you said, plug in and unplug?
No, not at that stage.
In the beginning.
It was just constantly, all the time.
Wow.
Yeah. And it became a bit much in the end, to be honest with you. And then, of course, as everything, it just slowly settled down and settled down and settled down. And then yeah. So over the years, I've learnt to turn it off. It takes many years to become a medium, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because you've got lots to learn, lots of responsibility. It's a very responsible job.
Yes.
You've got somebody sat in front of you, and if somebody's lost a child, for instance, and I bring the child through, or the child comes through me, that's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah.
And it carries, and to have that responsibility, you also need to have the knowledge, and you need the time to be able to, and invest the time and do the work to learn what's really required, to have that sensitivity towards someone and somebody's life.
To know how to present information, is that what you mean? Like,
yeah, and be sensitive to somebody else's, what they're going through.
Sure.
The old saying is, if you want to know my life, walk a mile in my moccasins.
Yes.
And it's a very true saying. So for me to be able to help someone or help someone that's grieving, I've had to have grieved.
Of course, yeah.
So, yeah.
That's so fascinating. So you had to do a little bit of psychology work.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think most mediums start off as healers, so I started off as a healer originally.
Oh, yeah? What kind of healer?
I'm a Reiki master now.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So what is a Reiki master, just for people listening? I know what one is. But.
A Reiki master, but basically you're attuned. So 3 stages of attunement to get to the mastery. And basically it's just... it's healing, basically. They call it Reiki, but it's energy. So the energy runs through the healer, out of their hands, out of there, because your chakras all over your body, and you've got major ones in your hands. And the energy, like water through a tap. So when the tap's turned on, the water flows. Same with Reiki. Once you're attuned, the water flows.
Yes.
It's basically it.
Reiki is powerful. I had a wonderful experience with Reiki when I was 20. The Reiki master I worked with, literally I could feel energy being pulled out of my body like a string.
Yeah.
Like you feel a string pulled between your 2 fingers.
Yeah.
I could feel that coming out of my shoulders, out of my head, wherever he was working.
Yeah.
And it sounds, I think a lot of people will go, yeah, right. It sounds like some mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
It's completely real.
It
We
is.
are made of electricity and water. And water is a conduit for electricity.
Absolutely right.
So
Definitely.
I don't know why it would be so hard to believe that your electromagnetic field, so to speak, could manipulate mine. Of course. Of course they can.
Yes, it's energy.
If it's focused and you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Of course you can.
Yes, absolutely.
Even I can.
Yes.
Everybody can. You just have to kind of know what you're doing, sort of.
Yes, that's right. You're absolutely right. It's just energy, and energy flows, and that's all spirit is. It's just energy.
Right.
There's this massive misconception, that there's good and there's bad energy. There's just energy.
Right.
If you're a good or a bad person here, when you pass, when you come back again, you're a good and a bad person, because they have to come back with evidence of survival. But yeah, everything's energy. Everything.
It is, and it just kind of flows and ebbs, and
does.
It's beautiful
Is.
if you can really conceptualize the world in that way. We are all one.
We are. We all come, every single human being on this planet is related to each other, because we're all brothers and sisters.
Sure.
Because we all come from the same source.
Totally.
God, granddaughter, the divine, however you want to describe that.
Yeah.
Source energy. That's where we're all from. We're all the same, really.
So why did you start with Reiki? What were you doing before that you made a shift? Because I'm sure you didn't graduate high school and become a Reiki master.
No, I didn't. No, no, absolutely. The healing side of things was just felt natural to me. I just wanted to help people, and it was. And most mediums start off as healers, just through the sensitivity to what defines a medium from anyone else, because everyone's psychic. That's a natural ability that everybody has. For all your listeners, you're all psychic. Everybody is.
Right.
But mediumship, you're born to be a medium, and to be a medium, you have to be highly sensitive. So you have to be on the high level of sensitivity in terms of your emotionally very sensitive, and that's what pulls you away from the, if you like, the norm. And I discovered that I was highly, highly sensitive, hugely so. I remember as a child, if someone shouted at me, I'd burst into tears. I was just a very sensitive boy. And that's never changed. I'm just the same now. I might be in a bigger body and a lot older, but still as sensitive.
Right.
And that breaks the boundary between this reality and the spirit reality.
Is sensitivity?
Yeah.
It's just being really sensitive.
Open and sensitive. Yeah.
Open, I think, is key.
Yeah.
It's amazing to watch a child see. I lost my grandfather, who came to see us on Tuesday.
Okay.
I was very, very close to him. He was probably my most connected relationship outside of my dad.
Okay.
I just loved my dad's dad so much. We had such a great relationship. And when he passed away, my oldest daughter was 2.5, and she was having a hard time sleeping. So I was rocking her one night, trying to get her to sleep, and she sat up really quick and said, "Who's the guy in the doorway?"
Yeah.
And I went, "There's a guy in the doorway? What does he look like?" Because I thought it was probably my pop.
Yeah.
She said, "He's really big and he's wearing overalls." And I went, "That's my pop."
Yeah.
"Well, say hi to Pop.
Yeah.
He's come to check on us.
That's it.
We
Yeah.
love you." And he walked on through, but she saw him so clearly. She's only 2.5.
Yeah.
So for her, she doesn't know.
No.
She doesn't know what anything is, a ghost, or she doesn't know any of that. But to watch her have that experience was really awesome, because she was not afraid.
No, she wouldn't be. No, absolutely.
No, she was not afraid.
Yeah.
She had seen my pop several times, but she's 2.5. They forget.
Of course.
In a month, you forget what your grandpa looks like if you
Absolutely.
see him.
Definitely.
So, yeah, it was a really cool moment where I thought, okay, He's around.
Yeah.
He's not going anywhere. He's going to be in and out. He's going to be checking up.
Yeah, definitely.
So he was the first person that showed up on Tuesday.
Okay.
And I was not surprised.
Okay. I seriously don't remember, honestly. It's the readings left me. So.
Oh, that's okay. I don't need you to remember it. I remember it very well.
Good. But that's the important thing.
Yes. Well, it was for me.
Yes.
It wasn't for you. It was for me.
Yes, of course. And young children, you're right. Young children, they do see and feel spirit all the time.
I think so.
Well, they've got they're not tainted by this world yet.
Right.
And they're still they've still got one foot in spirit, so they're still very much connected with the spirit realms.
Right.
And their chakras are fully open, so they can see and feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Isla has always seen people.
Yeah.
To the point where you said to Isla, my youngest, that she was clairvoyant.
Yeah.
You were the third person who's told her that.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes. The third clairvoyant who's told her she's clairvoyant.
Okay. Wow.
So game, recognize game.
Yeah, sure.
I keep
That's
saying
it.
that to
Like,
her.
recognize like.
She has never slept well
No.
her whole life.
Yeah.
And she used to tell us there's someone in her closet.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that's such a typical child thing to say.
Yeah.
I never thought, oh, she's seeing spirits.
Yeah.
That's what she's seeing, until a medium said, oh, yeah, she's seeing. Yeah, that's what's happening, is she's seeing spirits at night.
That's right. Yeah.
So you need to teach her how to set a boundary. You need to teach her how to tell them, not now. I can't talk to you now.
Yeah.
You need to teach her how to kind of say a prayer to protect herself.
Yep.
And
That's it.
and buy some crystals and put them around in her room.
Yeah.
And so we've done all that.
Yeah.
And nothing seemed to help until we got her a cat.
Okay. Really?
We got her a cat that lives in her room, and everything settled down.
Sure. Yeah.
And this was like 6 months ago.
Wow.
So she's 16 now. She's been dealing with this she's never
life.
been able to
Yeah.
shut it off.
No. Sure.
So I think that she's someone who's probably going to end up.
I do remember saying to her, "There's clairvoyance there and mediumship with her."
Yeah.
So as she gets older, that will come out.
She will be able to, I think,
Tune in.
manage it. You know,
Yeah,
there's so much
that's-
going on in your little teenage body. I can't imagine also going, and there's a guy in my room.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, someone just walks in front of me, and
Right.
no one else can see. That's right. Yeah.
You know, teenagers, when they do tests on their brain activity as a teenager tests as psychotic.
Yes,
Like,
that's right.
they're psychotic.
Absolutely.
So could you imagine having this psychotic brain?
Manage, yeah, absolutely. Manage everything. Yeah.
Right? Strangers walking around at night in her room.
Exactly right. Yeah. I know exactly what it's like. Yeah.
So the cat was worth it. I was
That's
like, if that's
brilliant.
all we need,
If that's all it's going to take,
yeah,
buy 10 cats.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. One
Yeah.
cat seemed to do the trick.
Yeah.
So at
good.
least it's taught her how to pull her focus. Like you're saying, you plug in and then you plug out. I don't think she figured out how to do that.
No.
She was just always open. She's a
Open, that's
very
right.
open person
Yes.
in general,
Yes.
and very sensitive. So I think the cat taught her to like focus on the cat.
Yes.
That pulls her out of the other
Yes. Absolutely.
space.
It just takes time, really.
Mm-hmm.
And as she gets older, as she matures, she'll be more grounded and she'll close down.
Yeah.
Generally, what happens is we do close down, the chakra systems close,
Mm-hmm.
and then over a period of time, they open back up again.
Right.
Yeah. And for me, it was Peter that did that. And yeah, so that's very exciting for your daughter. So you've got a medium in the making.
I think she is. I think, like it or not, like you said, I think you're born that way.
You are.
And she has been like this literally. I don't remember a time in her childhood where she did sleep well, except when she was really small.
Yeah.
You know, really, really young.
Yeah.
As she started having trouble sleeping at like 2.
Yeah.
Before that, she slept like a dream.
Sure.
And then she'd get up every single night at 2:30 in the morning and go in the living room and start playing.
Yeah.
And then anyway.
I was the same. And my younger daughter's the same as that as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. She can't sleep. She couldn't sleep as a child. She never slept.
Yeah.
Always awake. And mine was always ticking.
Yeah. Same.
Mm.
Got to have sleep, though.
Absolutely.
So-
Definitely. Yeah.
Got to figure that out.
It works out generally. Most people slowly become grounded,
Yeah.
close down.
I'm not worried about her. I've never been worried about her as an adult. I worry about her in this moment struggling.
Yes.
You know, I don't worry about her as an adult. She's going to be a great adult.
She will.
She won't
Yeah.
have any problems.
No.
But today or these days, the present time is when I don't worry about her, but I wish she didn't have to struggle or suffer. You know what I mean?
Well, there's so much pressure.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's terrible amounts of pressure on
Yeah.
youngsters now. Education system and the expectation of just about anybody and everybody. I feel really sorry for the young now.
I do too.
And they've had COVID to deal with as well.
I know.
Which kind of shut the whole world down.
It shut the world down and it really arrested their development.
It did, yes.
It did in their social world.
Absolutely.
I'm so surprised. You know, my oldest daughter just graduated and prom happened. They had prom.
Yeah.
No one took a date.
No.
They all went as groups of girls or boys and just hung out as friends. And I thought, you know, I wonder if that piece, that dating piece, is like 2 years behind.
Sure. How sad's that?
It stinks.
Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, it does stink. Yeah, it's not great.
It's nothing better than having will he ask me or she or, you know.
How exciting. Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
They were not there. No one was there yet.
No.
And I thought this is from being at home for sophomore and junior year. She was at home.
Yeah.
So she missed that developmental piece. And it really, especially the younger kids, there's so many social skills.
So sad. So sad and so wrong. And obviously they'll get it back. I mean, they're mature into it, but they'll be able to say one day, do you remember when COVID struck and the world shut down?
Yeah.
We remember that.
Yeah.
So yeah, part of history now. So yeah.
I was just saying that yesterday. I was like, I feel like COVID never happened.
Yes.
But I think like 5 years from now, I'm going to go, whoa.
Well, yeah.
That was difficult.
Yeah.
That was
it was,
big.
Yes.
I mean, I understand. I know that it's big and I've had COVID. I understand the relevance of it. That's not what I mean. But it's not hit me yet, I think. I don't think it's fully hit me, the gravity.
I think also because of COVID, if we draw the positive out of it, you know, people have changed in so many ways. We appreciate this so much more now.
Yes.
Going on vacation.
Yeah.
Going to Starbucks for a coffee, you know, the ability to be able to actually interact with one another again. It makes life, you know, so much more sweeter now.
It does. You know what's coming back? Movies and movie theaters.
There you go.
So movies were really moving to like movie theater and streaming release at the same time because people weren't going to movie theaters. No. But they are now.
Yeah.
Because it's fun to watch a movie with a bunch of people.
Absolutely, yeah.
We've been stuck at home with, you know, your husband.
Or on your own if you're unlucky.
Exactly.
Yeah. No.
So it's way better.
Absolutely, definitely.
Yes, for sure.
And I did some, I think I told you I did some Zoom demonstrations during COVID.
Yes.
Just really to once a week, people look forward to it, to come and watch a medium work, and hopefully they get a message. Because it helped out, you know, it made a difference. It wasn't costing me anything. It wasn't costing anybody anything. And it made a difference to people's lives. And that's when Prince Philip came through on that.
I tried to find that on YouTube.
Oh, it's on there.
And I couldn't find it. I searched and I was like, oh, I have to ask you how to find it.
Yeah, we'll sort that out.
Because I wanted to see it.
Yeah, no, sure.
So Prince Philip came, okay, so let me ask you this. Let's back up a minute. When you had these Zoom meetings, how did they work? Could just anybody join your Zoom, or was it people had to sign up, or?
No, basically, I advertised it weekly on my social media, mainly Facebook, and I've got quite a few followers on Facebook. So then it was open for the UK time, and anyone could come in and join. They just had to have the Zoom, and then they joined. So I had a friend in Cornwall, lives in Cornwall, Lynn, and she managed the whole thing for me because I couldn't manage it and also do the mediumship as well.
Sure.
So she managed it, and that's when, I saw Prince Philip come through in the carriage,
Wow.
And, connected to this lady's mother, and remember saying to her, your mother's talking about royalty. What's the link with royalty? She said she used to work in Windsor Castle as a nanny. And I was like, wow. And that made the sense with Prince Philip then, so...
Yeah, she must have meant something to him.
Yes, she knew Prince Philip. Yes, yeah. So
that's so cool.
It was awesome. Yeah, it was amazing. I've had some very strange experiences over the years. I had Patrick Swayze come through once. On demonstration. I'm not lying. I don't lie. I tell you not. I did a demonstration, it must have been about 10 years ago, 10 years ago now, and in Essex, and there was 80, 90 people in the audience, and I was finishing off and I was tired. So when I get tired, it's kind of time for me to stop. But I looked to my right-hand side and I saw Patrick Swayze dressed in the Dirty Dancing gear he had on.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been taught over the years just to give out exactly what I see.
Yeah.
So I did. And I said, you must be thinking I'm crazy, but I can see Patrick Swayze. I'm sure no one can understand this or take it. So I'll just finish. And then at the back, a lady put her hand up. And she said, I understand Patrick Swayze in the Dirty Dancing. I said, you're joking? She said, no. So the message went on. She said, my mother was living with us. It was a Sunday afternoon. And she was sadly dying of cancer. And she said, Mum, do you want to watch a movie? Watch a movie. She said, okay, what do you want to watch? So we'll watch Dirty Dancing. And she said, I'm not watching any dirty film with you. She said, no, Mum, no, it's a love story. It's a dancing movie. It's really good. So we watched it. And when it finished, her mother said, that was so good. And when I go back to spirit, when I die, I'm going to get Patrick Swayze and I'm going to bring him back with me. And she laughed. And then I watched the mother walk in as well. Yeah,
No way.
Yeah, so that was a link with that. Yeah, and there was 80, 90 people in the audience. I said, you're all witness to this message now. So
That's crazy.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, that was some years ago.
Do you ever feel anything really heavy or negative that you have a hard time shaking after you're done?
Used to, not now.
Mm-hmm.
I used to, when I first started, as I talked about the control, and when I first started, it was really, it used to follow me about, and I'd find it very heavy, and as you said, the negativity, because that's there, it's all energy, and that used to weigh heavy on me from points, at points, and it used to tire me out. But as you mature, as I said earlier, you slowly learn to take control of that.
Right.
And that's what takes the time and the years to understand and to build that, just to build that, really.
Right. The experience to know how to kind of manage your own energy in relation to what's coming through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's that I can't control anyone or anything. I can't control the spirit realms. I can't control that, but I can control myself.
Totally, yeah.
And that's what took time to learn. That's what took time to build. Because it's, we're not talking about the norm, are we? We're not, it's not like dentistry or going to see the doctor getting your car fixed. This is something this is human energy. So, yeah.
But at the same time, it's a muscle, really.
It is, yeah.
So experience and repetitive behavior is what builds a muscle. So I would imagine it's something similar. I had a wonderful teacher when I was in college who said, anything you do well will take you 10 years.
Yeah.
Plumber, electrician, actress, anything you do, just know it's going to be about 10 years before you get really good at it.
Absolutely.
So if you're expecting next year, if you win the Academy Award next year, you may not quite be ready for it.
No.
There are people who are, but they're very rare.
They are rare. Absolutely.
You have to give yourself time to develop anything.
You do.
I don't know why this would be different. This wouldn't be any different.
No, absolutely. It takes time. It really does take time. And you can't put yourself under any pressure either. So you have to relax into it.
Right.
It takes a long time. It's taken me a long time to get to this stage.
Yeah. Wife of the Party has a great podcast partner. It's Coterie Diapers. Does your baby have sensitive skin or eczema? Coterie diapers are like putting cashmere on your baby. They are perfect for sensitive skin. They are very absorbent, like 4 times more absorbent than most diapers. You don't have to keep waking up in the middle of the night to change a diaper with Coterie because they have a wicking process that pulls the moisture away from your baby's skin, which helps with, obviously, sensitive skin and eczema. I don't have anybody in diapers in my house, but I have a niece who's in these diapers, and they are like the Cadillac of diapers. It's like cashmere. That's what my sister-in-law is like. They're the best diapers on the planet. She loves them. Coterie is the highest performing diaper on the market with up to 2 times more liquid capacity and up to 4 times faster absorbency versus other brands, which can keep your baby drier longer. The Coterie can even take your baby through potty training with their 2-in-1 product, the pant, that moves like yoga pants but absorbs like a diaper. Its readjustable waistband means you can tailor fit the pant to your baby's exact size and even do vertical changes. I mean, if I had a dime for every vertical change I did on Isla Kreischer as she was running through my house, I would much rather have the pant than just a regular diaper. They use only the cleanest and safest ingredients. The pant is even proven to be free of nearly 200 potentially harmful and irritating ingredients. This is amazing. So right now, Coterie is partnering with my podcast, Wife of the Party, to offer you 20% off your first order plus free shipping when you go to coterie.com and enter the promo code WIFE. That's Coterie, spelled COTERIE.com, promo code WIFE for 20% off and free shipping. Again, that promo code is WIFE, and the website is Coterie, COTERIE.com. Check them out, coterie.com, promo code WIFE. Do you do anything to protect yourself? Is there anything you do energetically to protect yourself?
Not really anymore, no.
No.
Not really anymore.
Did you in the beginning?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. There was lots of things I used to do, lots of routines I'd go through. Not anymore. I don't do that anymore.
You know, sometimes I think those things become just present.
Yes.
You know, when you practice prayer or gratitude or any kind of energy, I don't know what you call it. I always wake up and say thank you. The first thing I say in the morning is thank you. Thank you for the day. Yeah. I don't even have a specific thank you. Like, yes. I just say thank you.
Yes.
And I end every night with the Lord's Prayer. And I'm not even that religious, but that prayer is kind of hits all the highlights for me. So then I feel like those two things just set the tone for my energy for life.
Yes.
And they become automatic.
Yes, that's right.
You don't think about it.
No, that's right. Unconscious competence.
Yes, it becomes a practice in a different way. It's an effortless practice.
Yes,
it's
that's
just
right.
automatic.
You don't think about it. No,
so right. I bet the things that you used to do are just in place.
I guess, yeah. You're probably right. I hadn't really thought about it, to be honest. But yeah, I think you're probably right, yeah. I used to do a lot. I don't do it now, but as you say, I probably do unconsciously.
It's just there.
It's just there.
It's on autopilot.
Yeah, that's right. I don't consider it. So yeah, medium for a long time. Lots and lots of messages. I've probably given thousands now over the years.
Oh, tens of thousands. Probably, over 35 years.
Yeah.
And you know, I talked to Kelly, who is How I Know You, Kelly Brown. Yeah. Everybody knows her. She was the author that wrote 101 Ways to Say Thank You. And a good friend.
She's lovely, yeah.
Lovely person. Not to speak in specifics at all about her reading, but you gave her one piece of information that was so important for her to hear.
Okay.
And I feel like that's true. I had actually, after my reading, I'm in therapy, and I took my reading to my therapist, and you'd said one thing to me that has been said to me by so many people in so many different areas that I took it to my therapist and went, why am I refusing to learn this lesson? Why am I refusing to listen?
Yeah.
Now, my friends have told me this. This is the second medium or psychic who's told me this. What's my problem? Why am I so stubbornly refusing to listen to Spirit when Spirit says, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock a little louder next time.
Yeah.
And guess what? It's going to show up from your grandmother,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So that's such an amazing gift for me to receive.
Yeah.
To have that little piece of information that I can take into my life and have it affect my life positively.
Sure.
And Kelly had the same experience. One little piece of information meant so much to her that it can positively affect the rest of her life.
Yes.
It's really a gift when someone like you can sit down and look into, from my experience on Tuesday was the people who loved me the most and have passed on all showed up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I wasn't missing anybody.
Okay.
Like there was nobody who was like, where's that one person? Everybody, people I didn't expect showed up.
Okay.
And I thought, how can you not feel good about yourself when that happens?
Yeah.
And then the one thing you had said was, I was like a swan.
Okay.
Everything on top of the water is just gliding and easy.
Sure.
And everything under the water is like feet moving 100 miles an hour.
10 to the dozen.
And there's all this stuff going on. And I was like, I am that way all the time. And why is that necessary? And why do I keep behaving that way?
Sure, yeah.
That's not healthy for me.
No, it's not.
And I don't allow other people to help me. And
no, that's right.
so then they don't get to have a reciprocal relationship.
No.
It's all give for me. And
that's
then,
right. And where are you? And where's your energy? And it's all being taken from you, giving it all away.
Yes.
And what about you? You know?
And not just what about me? They don't get I love giving to people.
Sure.
Well, I don't give them the opportunity to give to me.
No, that's right.
So
Exactly.
I'm like screwing them out of one of the best things.
Yeah, absolutely.
The flip side of it is not just what's taken from me, but it's what I'm not allowing someone else to feel in a positive way.
That's right.
You know, and it's all from, junk from your childhood.
It is.
It's just junk.
It's just stuff we pick up along the way.
It is. It's stuff from my core, like my little core. This one piece of the puzzle that you'd talk to me about was from like a real core belief that really the only person that I can rely on is myself.
Yes.
That's proven.
Yes.
But it's not true.
No.
It's not true.
No.
And I keep refusing to learn that lesson.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I'm very much the same.
Are you?
Yeah, in similar ways. Last night I won the award for the TV show thing, and I was like, yay. I was on my own, so I was, yay. And I try not to make too much of this. So, I haven't told too many people. And then my friend said, put it on Facebook. It's so exciting.
It is,
and you deserve it. You've worked for so long. And I've given of myself so much for so many years.
Yeah.
To raise money, I think I might have mentioned to you, raise money for children's cancer research.
Yes, you did.
And to try and put back and put back and put back and see people on a regular basis that are not as well off as me or not as privileged, and to help them. And my friend said, celebrate, enjoy it, make the most of it. It's really good.
Yeah, toot your horn.
Yeah, toot your horn. The Americans say toot your horn. we say blow your own trumpet in the UK.
Yeah.
Same thing.
We make it less classy and much shorter. Toot your horn.
It's a good one. Yeah, toot your horn, and why not, I guess.
Yeah, you should.
So it's been a long journey from, I remember when I first met Peter, the synchronicity all fitted together really well. So we'd moved house and we moved into a new home. And this place was the most haunted house I'd ever been in.
No.
There was energy streams running under the house. There was, water basically running under the house. And they're like landing lights to spirit, and it was on ancient ground.
It's a conduit.
Yeah, it's conduit. So, but I didn't realise that when I moved in.
No.
I would never have bought the house if I did. But I didn't realise it. And then I met Peter, and then I started opening up, and then I started to experience that as well, being in that house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And that was scary. But yet again, I got very used to it.
Yeah.
So it was for a reason. So I was in the right place at the right time for the right reason, for me to learn and grow.
Was it probably to show you really what you had?
And what it was all about. Yeah. But terrifying to start with.
I can't even imagine. Does that mean just random spirits were just
all
running through the house?
In and out all the time. I remember waking up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. That's before we had kids, and we had mirrors at the bottom base of our bed, a bank of mirrors. And I looked in the mirror and I could see someone stood in the doorway in the bedroom, staring at me. Now, I knew the back door was locked. I knew the front door was locked. All the windows were closed. There was nobody come in. And I got so used to it by then. I looked at him, turned over, and went back to sleep. Of course, in the morning, he'd gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to get used to that. would be hard to get used to.
I just kind of did though, because
Yeah.
stuff happened so much that,
Yeah.
and I knew I was safe, and I knew
Right.
that no one was going to come to any harm.
Yeah.
And he was just walking his way through,
Yeah.
finding his way out of this life,
Right.
and kind of just stopped off to have a look at me, I suppose, whoever he was.
Whoever he was.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So living in that house was a big part of opening up to
I think it was the catalyst. I think it's what started the whole process, to be honest with you. And Peter knew what was going on with me, and he just, he kept quiet, but he used to encourage me all the time.
Yeah.
But it was just part of my growth and understanding.
Right.
So, the kettle in the kitchen would turn on when I walked past it, and TV would turn over or turn off or turn on. Weird stuff happening. Yeah. Very
Crazy.
strange. Yeah. Lights would dim and flicker, and bulbs would just simply blow,
Wow. That's a lot of energy.
There's a lot of energy there. My neighbour, a new neighbour, moved next door. And this was a semi-detached house. He moved next door, and he got planning permission to build an extension out the back of the house. And this particular day, he came and knocked. He said, "Come and take a look at this." So I went round there, and they couldn't hit any solid ground. So they dug down and down and down for the foundation, hitting water springs everywhere. And then eventually they hit solid ground, and they hit a tiled floor, handmade tiled floor.
What?
Yeah. So it looked like this was the basement to some mansion that sat on this land originally.
Wow.
And so ancient land, yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
it had all the
crazy.
energy that was there and running through there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Fascinating.
That was
yeah.
right next door.
Right next
What was
door,
under
yeah.
your house?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. God knows, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we never dug down to find out. We moved in the end.
See ya.
Got out of it in the end.
Now, did you have to disclose that when you sold the house? Hey, by the way,
Oh, it's full of spooks. No, I never.
Yeah. This is a beltway
Yeah,
for Ghost
This is it.
Central.
Yeah, this is the freeway. Yeah,
It's the bullet train.
it's the freeway to heaven. Yeah, I never mentioned it to anyone.
I wonder if the people who lived in there after you had similar experiences, or if they, I think some people are really shut down.
I think they're close to it, and I don't think they necessarily realise. They just live their life as normal with no, there's a misconception that when you die, you actually go somewhere. Actually, you don't. The spirit world's here. It's around us all the time.
Right.
We exist within the spirit realms. We don't exist outside of it.
Right.
So they're constantly in and out, walking backwards and forwards.
It's awfully crowded then, isn't
It's
it?
very crowded. Yeah, very crowded. Because they say we look but we can't see. So we listen but we can't hear. We touch but we can't feel. So our senses are very nulled down,
Right.
very closed and restricted to
Interesting.
what's really going on.
I believe it.
Yeah.
We have a ghost in our house.
Okay.
So I had a medium come because the person we bought the house from, the gentleman, passed away here.
Right.
And there was one spot in my house that my 2 dogs and my youngest daughter, hair on the back of their neck, didn't want to go in what used to be the master bathroom. We've reconfigured it now, and it's kind of a closet. But I was like, okay, there's definitely something here. Let's see if we need to clear the air.
Yeah.
Because I'd smudged and I'd said prayers and I buried a Saint Francis statue, and I'd done all these things, and it kept happening. This one part of my house. So I had a medium come. She told me everything about the people who own the house. She was 100% accurate. I had met the wife who I'd bought the house from, and she was a chatty Cathy. She told me soup to nuts, everything about her life.
Okay.
So I knew everything this woman was telling me.
Sure.
And she said, it's not her husband in the house. He's gone. He was happy to leave. He had pancreatic cancer, and he was good to go. He was like, thank you, take me. I'm so much pain.
Yeah.
This is some young guy named Max. I was like, who's Max?
Sure.
And she said, I don't know who Max is. He's had a lot of good times in this house, but he never lived here. So I think he must have been a friend of someone who owned the house maybe originally, or he's just been here a long time and he's really happy here. And he keeps asking me, where's your dog? I didn't have my dog with me that day. He loves your dog, and he's very concerned about the purple rose bush off your back door. He doesn't want you to kill it. And there was a purple rose bush off the back door. We relocated it for Max.
Okay.
And I see him from time to time in the house. I don't ever see him fully. I see him out of the corner of my eye, and he's moving.
Yeah.
So I see him in the hallway a lot, and he opens the closet doors a lot. I have 2 coat closets, and those doors will just be open, and no one's in the house but me. And I'm like, okay, Max, is there something you need? Do you need to tell me something? What's going on? And she told him, okay, you can stay here, but you can't go in the bedrooms and you can't go in the bathrooms. You have to stay in like the common areas. And she said he's going to spend a lot of time in the basement. So every time we go in the basement, we always go, hey, Max, we're coming in the basement. Don't turn the lights out on us or anything. Yeah. So we're coming in. We try to be respectful that he's here because he said to her, I'm not leaving.
No.
So, well, then what are you going to do? Be terrified your whole life? I know who's opening my closet door. Yeah. At least I know who it is.
Yeah, sure.
And so, yeah, she was like, he just had so much fun here. He just loved this house, and he loves your dog. And and what I did find out from the medium is the house that was giving the girls, giving Isla and my dogs the chills, is where the gentleman suffered.
Okay.
And she said his energy was...
His vibration still there.
Is still in the walls. And she was like, if I were you, I'd tear that room out. And I was like, we're going to tear it out anyway.
Sure.
So she said that's kind of the best way to get that energy gone. Yeah. He's not here, but he suffered terribly.
Yeah.
And it was all in that area. Yeah, so we ripped all that out. Totally reconfigured. All new wood, all new sheetrock. And she was like, then it will go. It'll go away. And it did. As soon as we ripped all that out, dogs and daughter, totally fine.
All changed.
It was like it never happened.
Yeah, chalk and cheese, yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, because it seeps into the very fabric of the building.
I think it did for sure here.
Yeah, it does do, yeah.
So I would imagine a place like Alcatraz.
Oh, God, yeah.
I would never want to go there.
Yeah, no.
I think I'd be a nervous wreck there.
Yeah, I have many a story.
Do you?
Many a story, yeah. And many years ago, I remember a colleague of mine, we worked up in Wolverhampton, the north part of England. And I wasn't working as a medium then, not full-time professionally. And we stayed in an old mansion house called Black Ladies. Mm-hmm. And it was called Black Ladies because originally it used to be a nunnery, so nuns used to live in this big mansion house.
Right.
And these people eventually took it over and they turned it into a guest house, really. Huge place. And I remember the building was built out of original shipping timbers.
Oh, wow.
The original builder used to own ships, the old galleons, ships, and the floors were all uneven. And there was a long corridor, and we were staying on this corridor. And in the middle, it wasn't the middle of the night, it was probably about 11, 12 o'clock. We were still awake. We were talking in the room. And then I heard footsteps. We both heard footsteps coming down the corridor. There's a long, long corridor. And as it got to our door, they stopped.
Oh, my.
And then it was a round door knob, and it turned. And we both sat there watching the doorknob. The door was locked, so whoever was it could get in anyway because it was locked. There was a lock on it. But the doorknob turned. So my friend chucked the covers over his head in the bed, and it wouldn't come out. It didn't worry me. I ran to the door, opened it, and there was no one there.
No one.
And the corridor was long. There was no way they could have gotten away. But,
hidden or anything.
Full of spooks, that place was.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. And nuns. Nuns.
Even spookier to be full of nuns.
Spookier nuns, yeah. It was a bit, I guess, yeah. But I was fine, but my friend wouldn't stay back there again, so we never stayed there again.
No. So have you ever been able to tell a ghost, like, you have to get out of this house or anything? Have you ever had a circumstance where that was necessary?
Yeah, it's very rare, to be honest. People call me all the time and say, I've got a spook here. And 9 cases out of 10, that's not the case.
Oh.
Often as the youngsters in the house, they say, so it's often to do with the youngsters and the youngsters' vibration, because as we discussed earlier, they're still very much open. So spirit come around them quite a bit. But yeah, there's been a couple of instances when there's been poltergeists in there.
Oh, poltergeist.
Yeah.
What's the difference between a poltergeist and just my grandmother?
Well, well, your grandmother comes in visitation, so she steps out of the spirit realms into this vibration to work with the medium, i.e. me.
Yeah.
A poltergeist is an energy that's trapped. So it's the actual spirit that's trapped here.
Oh.
So they're not visiting, they're stuck here. And that is, they get stuck by fear, so they're scared, or they're angry, or there's some huge emotional issue they've got that they find themselves not being able to go back. And the opportunity would have come for them to go back, but they don't want to. So they stay in their environment.
I see.
And they learn to use their energy within that environment, and they can be quite troublesome at times. So
Right.
I've been called a couple of times for that.
And how do you convince them to go back?
Well, it's not easy sometimes. It's a bit of a battle, but eventually they go back.
They do.
Everyone finds their way back to spirit eventually. 9 cases out of 10, most people just go.
Right.
So, but yeah, occasionally you get the odd one that stays around, doesn't want to go. Like your chap in the
Max
in the basement.
So would he
Likes
be
it, doesn't wanna
considered
go.
a poltergeist?
Not necessarily. He's not causing any problems.
No,
is he?
not causing
So-
any problems.
so
Just
then
opening a
he's-
couple doors.
Sure. So if he's not causing any problems and he's not being mischievous, then yeah, no.
No. And I actually don't think he's there all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think he's there all the time because I don't feel him all the time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'll go, oh, okay, he's around.
Hmm.
Maybe he's in a part of the house where I'm not attuned to, but I definitely don't see him all the time.
No.
I'll see him in little clusters.
Yeah.
You know, where I'll see him a couple times in a week.
Sure.
And then I won't see him again.
Then you
for a
won't see
while.
him for a while.
Yeah.
Because there's a big difference between a spirit and a ghost.
Oh.
Because when you hear about a ghost, say for instance, a silly example, the headless horseman, for instance.
Yeah.
So people see the same image over and over again in the same place over and over again.
Oh, okay.
So that's just energy, burnt energy that's burnt into this reality. But the chances are the spirit of that individual will have gone back to spirit. So they would have crossed over and gone back, migrated back to the spirit realms. But it just leaves like a watermark. It leaves a stain.
Yes.
And over a period of time, it gets seen less and less and less and less. And it eventually just fades away.
Got it.
Then not
Sort of
seen
like
again.
my bathroom,
Yes.
where that maybe it wasn't a ghost per se, but the same residue
Yes.
was left.
Just hangs about, and eventually it just peters away and it's gone.
Or maybe the dogs and Isla saw a ghost.
Yes.
I didn't see anything, but that room was very cold.
Yeah.
It was the coldest room in the house,
Sure.
physically cold.
Yeah.
So it definitely had funky energy.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
So maybe they saw a ghost. I didn't see a ghost, but it definitely was.
Yeah. There's
shift.
a big difference between a spirit and a ghost.
Uh-huh.
People get confused and think it's the one and the same, but it's not.
It is confusing.
It is.
We're not
Absolutely.
taught this in school.
No, of course not. Of course not. Absolutely not. No. It's something.
So today's lesson: ghost versus poltergeist versus spirit.
Yeah.
Did you imagine that in school?
That's right. Yeah, this is what we're learning today, kids. You know, how to keep yourself closed and don't open up too quickly, and you know.
So the chakras. I mean, they would never teach that.
Yeah.
at school.
No, absolutely not. Wouldn't it be great if they did?
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if they taught kids how to communicate better, how to be respectful, how to be known that we're all spirit anyway.
Yes, and how to be in tune with your own energy.
And your vibration, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just to listen.
Absolutely.
How to listen. I didn't learn any of that till I was full on adult
Exactly.
and was curious about it. And, you know, why am I repeating these same patterns or why am I unhappy in these areas? And some of it was just about my energy.
Yes.
Some of it was about lessons that needed to be learned. And
Yes.
some of it was about maturity.
Yes.
And but some of it was just a shift in energy. Some of it was Reiki work that I needed.
Yes, that's
That
right.
I couldn't have possibly done by myself.
No,
You know,
no,
there
that's
was so much, that guy pulled so much junk out of my shoulders.
Yeah.
There's no way I could have gotten, this is an interesting story. My listeners have heard it before, but I'm going to tell you because it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I went to a Halloween party, and at this Halloween party, they had psychic booths, like literal, like fake crystal ball,
Oh, okay.
goofy psychic booths. But the psychics were real. They were actual psychics. So
Sure.
I went into this booth, and the psychic went, "Wow, you have really bad headaches. I said, yes, I do have very bad headaches. And she goes, I think I know someone who could help you. I think you need some Reiki. And I didn't know what that was. And some massage. So I'm going to give you this guy's card. Check him out. See what you think. So I made an appointment. I walked in the door and he went, whoa, you have really bad headaches. I said, yes, I do. And he goes, you have some serious stuff with your mother. And I went, yes, I do. I do. And he did a massage. He did Reiki and deep tissue massage together. And after my first session, he said, okay, this is how this works. You have a lot going on here. If you walk this journey, you can't go back. So you have to make a choice. If you're going to start changing all this energy, it's going to change everything you know.
Yeah.
So you have to go home, think about it. And if you come back to me, then you're agreeing to this journey, or just don't come back, because I can't help you if you're not in agreement.
That's right.
With going on this journey.
Absolutely.
So I went back. I went to see him 2 or 3 times a week for about 6 months, and my headaches never came back.
Sure.
He pulled so much stuff out of my shoulders, just crystallized energy.
Yes, that's right. It sits with us.
Yes, it was like literal rocks.
That's right.
In my shoulders.
Yeah.
And he just deep tissue, break it up and then pull it out. And it felt like he was pulling yarn.
Yes.
Out of my shoulders.
Just kept coming.
It just kept coming.
Yeah.
It took 6 months for him to get it all out.
Sure.
But it really, really worked.
Yeah.
And I don't think if I had just gone to deep tissue massage, I don't think it would have worked.
No.
Because it wouldn't have gotten rid of the energy. It would have just broken it up, then it would have just repositioned itself somewhere else in my body.
It would have found somewhere else to go.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
But isn't that crazy how I found him?
Yeah.
At a Halloween party.
Yeah, there you go. There's no such thing as coincidence. Everything sits for a reason. So,
That was divine.
It absolutely was. Yeah.
It was a message.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
It was crazy.
It's so good, eh?
Yes. And from that point on, I was like, I believe in all of this.
Yeah.
There's no way. That was divine. I believe in God.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I believe in spirit. I believe in the universe.
Yeah.
I believe in all of this energy work, because it really did change my life.
Changed your life. Yeah.
It changed my life. And I consciously said, no, I want that path.
Yes.
Because he presented it that way.
Yes, that's right.
You know?
And you'll never go back from that. That will always be with you now.
Well, he said you can't go back.
No, that's right. Once the door's open, you can't, no.
You can't go back.
That's right.
So eyes wide open, walk through it, because everything's going to change.
Yes, that's right.
He told me too, you may lose people you love.
Yes.
You may lose the path you're on.
Yeah.
You may lose the career you think you want.
Yeah.
You may lose everything.
Everything. That's right. Yeah.
But you'll find yourself.
That's right. Exactly. Peter said to me when I started, he said, once you open the door, you can't close it.
That's true.
Yeah. Once you do that, once you open it, you can't close it. Are you sure you want to open it? Because you don't know what's beyond it.
No.
For yourself,
No, yeah.
Because everyone's got a different journey, so everyone's got a different experience. But I was like, I would definitely want this now.
Yeah.
Because it made so much sense in my life. And like you, it profoundly changed me as a person.
Right.
In terms of who I am.
Yeah.
And what I've become.
I believe it saved my life.
Yeah.
I believe it saved me.
Yeah.
I believe if I had not made that choice, I would not be alive.
No, sure.
I don't think I would have.
Yeah, no. It's
made
amazing,
it
isn't it? It's incredible that he was able to do that for you.
He's a very special person. I'm still in touch with him. I talk to him like once a year, maybe. Okay. He lives in Florida now.
Oh, that's good.
All this happened in Georgia when I was living in Georgia, but
sure.
He's a lovely, powerful, amazing healer.
Yes.
He's still healing people.
Brilliant. Yeah.
He works a lot with people with cancer.
Right.
That's what he kind of ended. I was in the beginning of his journey.
Right.
I was one of his first
students. Yeah.
Students, yes. And he always tells me I'm his most successful one. So
that's nice to know.
I'm like, I don't know if that's good or bad.
I think it's good.
I think it's good. I'm happy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's someone once said to me, mediums don't retire, healers don't retire.
Yeah,
there's no reason to,
Well, you just get better and better, don't you?
Yeah.
You just get more powerful.
Yeah. I'm never going to retire from this. I'll do it until the day I drop.
So Kelly told me you have a book.
Yes, there's a book. Kelly's read it now, I think, or 3/4 of it.
Yes, she has.
And yeah, it just needs it needs looking at again in terms it needs updating, which I'm going to do. And I'm looking for help, really.
Yeah.
Expertise help. I'm not a writer really, but
you wrote the book yourself?
yeah. Well, I had help from a few friends that knew a little bit more about it than me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm dyslexic, and when I left school, I was dyslexic badly. And the truth is, and I'm not proud to say, but I couldn't read and write when I left school. Couldn't do arithmetic.
Yeah.
Because dyslexia wasn't even a word when I was at school.
Sure.
Didn't exist. That's like a made up word since.
Yeah.
So I got put at the back of the classroom and just was told to be quiet. And then left school and suddenly realised, you know what, I need to learn to read and write. This is quite important.
Yeah.
So then I taught myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some determination.
Yeah, it's like anything in life. Suddenly you realise you need it. You got to do it. You just knuckle down and get it done, I guess. And that's what I did. I knuckled down, got it done, and yeah.
That's amazing. You left school and didn't know how to read or write.
Yes, that's right. It's quite sad, isn't it? And I think maybe it just goes to show how the education system has now changed for the better because, obviously I slipped through the net.
Some ways it has. I have a child who's dyslexic, which you identified, which she thought I told you that. And I was like, I told him your name. That's it.
Yeah, sure.
She's quite dyslexic also. And I guess now with what we know about dyslexia, there's 3 different types of dyslexia.
Yeah.
And the type that she has is really hard to remediate.
Right.
So sometimes I find it very frustrating that she's shuffled through.
Yes.
Where I go, she shouldn't actually be shuffled through.
No.
She should be like held to task.
That's right.
Like everyone else.
Yeah.
And yes, she gets accommodations. Like she gets time and a half on a test. That's fine. She gets extra time to take a test because it takes her extra time to read the questions.
Yeah.
That to me is not really giving her that much special attention, so to speak. But I used to get very frustrated where I go, they just kind of shuffle her through when she was younger. And I thought, well, she's clearly missing some key building blocks for writing and reading.
Absolutely.
Her language, her vocabulary, spoken word vocabulary was always excellent.
Yes.
But the reading and writing of that has always been very, very difficult. And it frustrates me that they just moving on through.
Hurry them along.
Yeah, let's get her on through.
Yeah,
And instead of saying, maybe she needs a little more help here.
That's exactly.
You know?
Absolutely right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember it's the same thing. It is better now.
It is better now, for sure.
Because it's recognised now.
Yes,
so
exactly.
that there are things in place.
For
but
sure.
I remember my maths teacher writing an equation on the blackboard and saying, well, off you go. And if anyone's got a problem, put your hand up. So mine was the first hand to go up. And I think he spent the entire lesson trying to show me and trying to get me how to do it. And he was banging his head on the desk in the end because he was so frustrated.
Yeah.
Because it just, and you're right, needs special help, There should be people there that
can do that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That can do that. And, I understand one teacher has 40 students here in the U.S. The classrooms are so crazy.
Yeah.
I actually had one of her, she wasn't in special education ever, but she had aides that were provided through the special education system. I had one aide saying, I have 4 kids in her classroom. This one just spit on that one, and that one is hitting the other one, and your daughter needs help reading. So where am I supposed to go?
Sure.
I can't help her read. No. And that's just the reality.
Yeah, that's
so right. I love your daughter. She's amazing.
Absolutely.
I would love to sit all day with her. Yeah. Most behaved, lovely child in the room.
Yeah.
But so-and-so spitting on so-and-so who's hitting so-and-so. So I got to deal with this
absolutely
over
right.
here.
Yeah.
And you go, wow, that's I feel so bad for her because she knows she's failing my daughter
Yeah.
out of necessity.
Yeah, that's right. She's no choice.
No, and she's in this career because she loves it.
Yes, she's just doing a job or trying to do a job and can't because
Yeah.
so frustrating.
It is, and I feel I would never have complained about her to her superior. I would never be that parent because it's not her fault.
No.
But at the same time, you're left with this frustration of my kid is in this program and gets nothing from it.
Yeah.
Because there are kids who need more, and they do need more.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a weird place to be. My dad was similar to you. My dad graduated high school, not really reading, and he could write, but not a writer.
No.
But like writing a letter, he wrote a letter to my daughter who just graduated. It was 2 sentences.
Yeah.
And that was lovely.
Yeah.
But it was not sophisticated.
No.
And he was the same. He was put in the back of the class and just shuffled through. I'll give you a D if you just don't cause trouble.
That's right. Yeah.
That's what he did.
Just stare out the window.
Yes.
Really.
I'll give you a D if you just, because my dad was a big prankster.
Yeah.
So, because he was bored.
Yes, that's right.
Just pull pranks all day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sounds like me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah. Such a shame.
Isn't it?
Such a shame. And the dyslexia is quite interesting. So your daughter's dyslexic, I'm dyslexic. Lots of mediums, actually, psychics, are dyslexic or were dyslexic.
Really?
Yeah.
It's because your brain is just functioning in a completely different plane.
Yeah, it's just wired slightly differently, I guess.
It is. And, a dyslexic brain is 5% larger than a non-dyslexic brain. It's physically larger.
I didn't know that.
Well, yeah, I've read up on it a lot.
Okay, sure, yeah. I guess you would, yeah.
The lion mama that I am. As soon as we figured
course.
out what was going on, I read everything I could get my hands on.
Yeah, sure.
And their brain is your brain is 5% larger than someone who doesn't have dyslexia, and a dyslexic brain looks for other avenues of solving problems.
Right.
Because their whole focus is, how can I solve the problem that my neighbor's solving in a straight line? Yeah. I can't go in a straight line.
No.
So then in doing that, it just builds that muscle. And your brain's a muscle.
It is, yes, that's right. That's very interesting. I didn't know that. And my brain obviously doesn't quite work the same as lots of people, but
right.
But I think your daughter is going to do very well. I mean, it's obviously there with her. So.
I'm not worried about her. I've always said I just got to get her out of high school.
Yeah.
Just get her out of this system. I think I should do quite well in college.
I think once she leaves, I excelled when I left.
Yep, that's what she'll be the same. And she does fine in school. There's certain subjects she struggles with.
Yeah.
Because of course she would.
Yeah.
But I've said this to her whole life. We just got to get you out of high school. After that, everything's going to be so much easier, I promise.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. She'll enjoy it. She'll enjoy life much more.
She will. She's a very curious person. She likes to learn. That's the tragic part to me, is that she really does like to learn.
Yes.
But the teacher can only teach in one modality.
Absolutely.
And if that's not how she learns,
that's right.
Then she's not really learning.
She's not going to learn. No, that's right.
No.
That's it. We all learn different. Well, I think we all learn slightly differently, but when you're dyslexic, your learning is just somewhere else.
Yes.
So like your daughter, I left school and that's when I excelled. That's when I started studying, learning. So I'm an NLP master practitioner, Reiki master, hypnosis I do. And I went into all that line of and studied the human mind and the human energy field. And I'm fascinated by all that.
Yeah.
Fascinated.
You're a hypnotist as well?
Yeah, I trained as a hypnotherapist. Well, yeah, hypnotic practitioner.
Hypnotic practitioner.
Is mine, yeah. I trained with a well-known hypnosis chap in the UK, Paul McKenna. You might have heard of Paul McKenna over here. I think he lived in LA for a while. And I trained with him, yeah.
I don't know much about hypnotic therapy, but I know people who've had huge success with it.
Yes, that's right.
Huge success. I have one friend who was completely immobilized by getting on an airplane, could not get on an airplane, and went through some hypnotherapy and is fine.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah. I've got, funny you should say about the plane therapy. I've cured, 100% success rate in curing flying phobias.
No way.
I've got, yeah. I use something else. I use NLP for that, though. I use neuro-linguistic programming for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
And recode it, yeah.
How funny. Isla was in NLP.
Oh, really?
Yes, she was. She had some sensory processing problems when she was young. She
Okay.
couldn't tolerate shoes on her feet.
Yeah.
Couldn't have shoes on her feet. And once kindergarten starts, you kind of have to wear
You've
shoes.
got to, yeah.
And it was terrible. So we had her brain analyzed, and she went through some NLP where they put electrodes on her brain and just stimulated her brain while she watched a movie. She wasn't doing anything.
Sure.
And it redirected her neuro pathways.
Yeah.
Because she was still growing.
Yeah.
They told us we had to do it before she was 8.
Yeah.
And we did it when she was 6 and 7.
Brilliant.
For about a year and a half.
Yeah.
She went 3 days a week, an hour and a half a time.
Yeah.
And it brought her sensory processing to a massively manageable place.
Sure.
She still has it.
Yeah.
But she could put her shoes on. Within 2 weeks, she was putting her shoes on.
Yeah, there you go.
And we were like,
Yeah, amazing.
What is this?
Yeah.
Why isn't this used everywhere?
That's right.
Why doesn't everybody know about this?
Exactly,
We couldn't
yeah.
believe the transformation.
Absolutely. Neuroplasticity.
Exactly,
Yeah.
because she was so young. Everything
that's
was
right.
growing so
That's right.
rapidly.
Yeah, so you can put some new stuff in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just move things around. What they said was we're basically like taking the traffic going this way and just moving it this way.
Yeah.
And now when the traffic's this way, everything calms down.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it worked.
Yeah.
It was a huge commitment.
Yeah.
It was not cheap,
No.
but and we couldn't really afford it at the time.
Sure.
But we were like, after 2 weeks, we have to complete this program.
Yeah, we've got to do it. Yeah.
We have to go through
Yeah.
it. I think she doesn't know it because I don't think she remembers how severe it was
No.
before she went through that
Yeah.
NLP.
Yeah.
But that's so funny. You're trained in that too.
Yeah. EFT as well. Emotional freedom techniques. I'm doing that as well. Yeah.
What is that?
EFT. It's stimulating the meridians through tapping. So you might have heard of tapping.
Yes.
Meridian tapping.
I know what this is. I have another friend who got over some serious anxiety problem with that.
Yeah. It's incredible. It's amazing.
That's what she's a therapist. She's a psychologist.
Yes.
And couldn't get her through cognitive behavioral therapy. She went through all types of therapy to get over this. I think it was actually flight anxiety also.
Okay.
And she did that method.
Yeah.
And it fixed it. She
Yeah.
was like, it's done. I'm done.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
totally done.
It's incredible. It's so fascinating because the subconscious mind, which is essentially your soul, the subconscious mind is layered with energy, and everything you've ever experienced sits in the subconscious mind, all the good and all the bad. And generally, we don't focus on all the good. We, as humans, focus on all the bad. And that is the creative process. That's what gets in the way of being an adult. So when you're a child, they say, Bruce Lipton is a cellular biologist, and I really like listening to Bruce, very clever man. I think up to the age of about 6 or 7 is when the install is finished. And then beyond that, as adults, we then create our life based on all these programs.
Really?
And all these experiences, yeah. So we just keep regurgitating them. Because with my EFT training, basically your energy and your morphic field around you carries all of the memories of your entire life here. And some of the other ones from other lives as well, I have to say. But generally from this life. And they all sit around you. So all it's waiting for is a trigger of something to happen.
Right.
And it just brings the memories back. It just, that child then steps out of the morphic field into your energy. Then you start to relive that childhood. Because adults don't get jealous. They don't get angry. They don't lose their adults don't. Children do.
Interesting. This is so fascinating.
So it's the children that step into your vibration. Because if you think of, you see road rage and some guy hanging out of his door shouting at someone, that's not an adult response.
No.
That's not what adults do. Children do that.
Yeah.
So whatever happened in his childhood, and when you trace it back, so when I do hypnosis or I use EFT or NLP and I trace it back, it always traces back to childhood.
Sure.
So it was like, well, my dad used to shout at me all the time if I did this, or the teacher got really angry with me, or I had a bad experience as a young boy, and it always goes back, yeah. And it's just created energy that then replays in throughout our entire adulthood.
Wow.
Until we choose to do something about it.
Until
we say, I can't be like this anymore. This has got to change. Or,
right.
why do I keep choosing the same partner with the same issues that they've all had before? Why do I keep choosing this same partner? And if you go back and you trace it back, you'll always find the answer somewhere in childhood.
Right.
Somewhere.
Well, that's what I did with what you said to me. Is I went to my therapist and went, why do I keep not listening?
Yeah.
Everyone, you told me, do you have a personal assistant? Because you need one.
Okay.
You were like the 5th person within the last 6 months from many different areas who's told me the same thing.
Okay.
And I refuse to get one.
Sure.
I'm like not in my conscious mind.
No.
My energy is going, no.
Yeah, the subconscious is saying, no, you don't
Yes,
need it.
you
You
don't
can do
need
this
it.
on your own.
You got this.
You don't need anyone to help.
Hey, no.
That's right. That's the child stepping forward.
That's the child
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
you can't depend on anybody.
There you go.
Because that's what was proven to me
Yeah.
when I was very young.
So you got let down when you were a child.
Yes.
So, you know what? I can't trust in anyone
That's
or
right.
believe in anyone because as an adult, I'm just going to keep
Yes.
being let down. So why bother in the first place? Just do it all myself.
Exactly.
I'll do it all myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'll do it all myself.
Yeah.
Then that way, I'm never disappointed.
No.
Or, yeah, you're right. I'm never let down. Or
Yeah.
I'm never left.
No, that's right.
And so I
It's
said,
fascinating.
it's fascinating. And
It
she
is.
said, this is just such an old code.
Yeah. Yeah.
This code you coded
Yep.
is a core code.
That's right.
And she was like, you probably never really completely get rid of it. But what you do is you learn to recognize it and make a different choice.
That's exactly
And you
right.
recognize it, make a different choice.
Absolutely.
Recognize it, make a different choice.
Absolutely.
And you just have to keep practicing that.
Yes.
And
Well, everything that's written, everything that was written would be a formula that you would have used as a child that kind of worked at some point or another.
That's
the
right.
subconscious mind doesn't know what works and what doesn't. It just uses the same thing over and over again. Because if it works once, it will just keep using it over and over and over and over again.
that's right.
That's how people get into gambling habits, you know. Well, I gamble once and I won, so when I gamble, I must always win.
Yes.
And we all know that that's not the case. But in reality, the subconscious mind doesn't know any different.
Interesting.
So the subconscious mind will just replay the same old pattern over and over and over
It
again.
repeats the code.
Same as, you know, same with everything, relationships, with health, with everything.
So fascinating.
It's always in there. It's always there playing in the background. It's like a hard drive. So if you think of a computer, you've got the case, your body, you've got the RAM, random access memory. I'm sure lots of people know what that is.
Right.
And the subconscious, the hard drive.
Right.
So all the information is on the hard drive.
Right.
And that hard drive is basically essentially you. So when you die, it's the hard drive that goes, which is
Right.
the soul
Right.
goes. But what's on that hard drive is some good and bad data. And some of the programs that are on it don't serve you well as an adult.
Right.
That's where the work is.
That's where the work is,
That's
isn't
where the
it?
work is, yeah.
It's so fun to find that work. Like, even though I was frustrated that you had said that, and
Yeah.
for the probably second time, I said to myself, why am I not listening to this?
Yes.
So, to me, what makes the journey of health fun
Yeah.
is to find that curious,
Yes.
to be curious.
Yes.
Why do I keep making that choice?
Yes.
And what can I choose differently that can, and to have my therapist say, you'll never change it forever. You'll just recognize and make a different choice, which is change, I guess, in some ways.
It is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, your therapist is right. Because the memory's there, that will never change.
Right.
But it's how it's processed and how it affects you.
Right.
So you can change how it affects you.
Right.
Even though the program's still there.
Right.
Yeah. Fascinating. So interesting.
So I told my friend Kelly that you told me that. And Kelly has now sent me 2 resumes and a link to a headhunter who can find me a personal assistant.
Yeah. PA, there you go.
She's on my team.
She's on your team.
She's
yeah.
on my team. She
There you
said,
go.
okay, this is over.
Yeah.
Here's 2 resumes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here's an agency that does exactly that.
Yes.
So can you please
Please get someone.
take
There you-
the hint for the 8th time?
There you go.
You know.
Fabulous.
Anyway,
Yeah. I'm
what? Go
sorry.
ahead.
I was going to say I'll probably need one myself one day.
Let's hope.
Fingers crossed.
I think you will.
Yeah.
If you
hope
just won
so.
an award for the undisclosed category.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, won an award. I can't believe it. Yeah.
That's
I'm
amazing.
still stoked about that.
That's so awesome.
Yeah,
So great.
awesome.
So what are you going to work on next? Are you this show, or are you going to, now wait, is your book published?
No,
not
it's not
published.
published. Kelly's actually got it, and she's been looking at it, and it needs work. It does need work. It needs bringing up to date. I need to put more effort into it. I need to rewrite it in some areas, to be honest with you. I'd like somebody that's expert in this field to go, you know what, you need to do, because I'm great when someone says, you need to do this, this, and this is what you have to do.
Right.
And then I'm fine. I can tick it off and do it.
Yes.
But when someone says, well, you know, it's just a book and you just need to do this and this, and I don't know how to do this and this, you need to tell me and show me what I have to do.
I see.
So the book's kind of not out there yet, but it's going to get there.
But in the works.
It's pretty much there, near enough there.
If you have a first draft or even a multiple draft, that's a lot.
It's on its way. I'll get there with it. So I'm going back to the UK next Friday. I've got readings already booked. I've got some demonstrations I'm doing. So I've got some mediumship demonstrations to go back to and lots of readings. Once I go back, I'll get busy with the readings. 4 or 5 weeks, and my plans to come back to lovely California.
That's great.
So, yeah, hopefully by then the producer will have it all finished. Well, he said hopefully by next week he'll have it all finished. Then it'll go to market, and then it'll go to networks and go to market.
Amazing.
See if they can sell it. And then...
Well, I'll cross my fingers.
Thank you.
That's great. Very exciting.
It is so exciting. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
I wish you could tell me what it was about, but I'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it'll come out before very long.
That's so great.
Yeah.
Well, as much as I can imagine, based on my short time knowing you, how much you've helped people.
Yeah.
You definitely deserve, not that we don't all deserve, but you definitely deserve all the success in the world with this project.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Yes, I'm very excited. Thank you.
You should be. That's great.
My parents wouldn't quite believe it, I don't think.
You don't think so?
No, I mean, they're both passed away, but I don't think they quite believe it. Yeah.
Do they ever come visit?
I occasionally feel my father, see him about. My mother every now and again. Not a great deal.
No.
Mediumship isn't for the medium.
Right.
It's for everyone else.
Right.
So I'm fortunate to know lots of other mediums that can help me when I need a hand, so I can speak to them. But it's selfless work. So it's not for me.
No.
But yeah, fingers crossed it all goes. And I love California. I love the sun. I love the people. I love the beach. I love everything.
It's a great place.
It is a great place.
It really is.
It is.
It gets a bum rap from some people in the United States who think everybody out here is crazy and kooky. And yeah, there's some crazy kooky people. And it makes it just delicious and amazing and interesting and colorful and full and rich and fun and never boring.
No, that's right.
And I love it.
Yes.
I bring on the kook.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. I mean, I haven't seen too much of the kook, to be honest. But
it's here.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'll take your word for that one.
Yeah.
But I really, really love it. It's really
great.
good.
Well, you've been staying in very, very nice parts of California too.
Yeah.
Once you start getting into a little bit not as nice, you're in really high-end part of Los Angeles. But you'll see some kooks.
I'm sure.
There's some kookaroos.
I'm sure, yeah. There is. The world's full of it, them.
Yes.
Isn't it? Really?
It is full of them. And, the good thing about LA, in my opinion, we live in the San Fernando Valley. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the valley is just regular folks.
Yeah.
And even the celebrities who live here are pretty regular.
Yeah.
Just like take their kids to school, drop them off, pick them up, go to play dates.
Absolutely.
No pretense.
Absolutely.
Everybody here is kind of just a person.
That's right.
And that's really
cool.
Great.
That's really good. I like that. I do like that.
That's the way I find the valley. I didn't find other parts of LA quite that way.
No.
So we kind of moved here and found an amazing community here. And it can be done in LA. It doesn't have to be flash and fancy.
No, definitely not. No, I always say, and it's the truth, living's for the living, the dead take care of themselves. There's no famous spirits and there's no rich spirits.
Yeah.
Is the truth.
No.
We're all the same.
Patrick Swayze's kind of famous, though.
Yeah.
Prince Philip's slightly famous.
He is slightly, yeah. I have, yeah.
I know what you mean, though. Once
Yeah.
you're all stripped down, we're all energy.
All energy. We're all the same.
Yeah.
No one's really any different.
No, I agree.
Which is kind of cool, really, as well. Really like that.
It is cool. And if you walk this plane knowing that information, then it's really hard to be unkind to anybody.
Absolutely right. Absolutely
You
right.
know?
You know, I don't have. Everybody's got to have an ego. We wouldn't survive without
Totally.
an ego. But I don't get stuck in my ego. You know, it's not. It's. Yeah. I love to share, and I like to see people happy. Is the truth.
Yes.
Like you, the same.
I am the same.
Yeah.
I love to
absolutely.
share, and I love to see people happy.
Absolutely.
And nothing makes me happier than talking to a stranger.
Yeah.
My kids, I think, sometimes get so annoyed with me because I don't meet a stranger. I don't. Everybody I meet is just a person,
That's right.
and I want to say hi.
Yeah. Of
And
course.
how's your day?
Yeah. And what's your story?
Exactly.
Because everyone's got a story, right? So,
Everybody.
yeah. Absolutely.
So curious about
Yes.
who are you? You're here,
Yeah.
you know, mowing my lawn. What is your story?
Yeah. What's your life about? Where
And-
did you come from? You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way, thank you so much because I hate to mow my lawn.
There you go. Yeah. Exactly right.
I don't want that job.
No, that's right. Yeah. Thank
So,
you that you do it
thank
and you
you.
can do it.
And who are you?
Yeah,
and what are you
that's
about?
right.
And how can I help you?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely right.
We were all a little more like that. I think we'd all be happier people.
Definitely.
Makes me so happy to be that way,
Yes.
to talk to everybody.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same.
Yeah. My husband's that way too. He
Yeah.
never meets a stranger.
No.
And it's super refreshing when you find people like that.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Yeah. We're designed to cohabit. We're designed to talk. We're designed to.
Yes.
And it's sad that some don't, or people feel they can't for
Yeah.
whatever reason.
Exactly.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I love to talk. I love to chat.
Me too.
Chat all day long.
I know, right? We have chatted all day. Hour and a half.
Really?
Long
No way.
Went fast, didn't it?
Oh my word. It's like that. It's just gone. Yeah. It's like my demonstrations. I do a demonstration and I give the first message. Before I know where it is, I've been going an hour and a half, 2 hours, you know, and
Right.
it's time to stop. It just goes so quick
It does.
once you start getting involved. So yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Well, thank you so much for coming
It
today.
was an absolute pleasure.
It
really
was.
a real pleasure for me.
It was for me as well. I'm
Oh,
so
good.
nice to I'm so happy to have met you
Thank you.
and to know you.
Me
What an
too.
exceptional person you are
Oh, thank you.
and all that you give to the world.
Thank you very much, Maria. I appreciate that.
It's true.
Thank
It's
you.
wow, you have so many gifts.
Thank you.
And it's really impressive and very inspiring.
Thank you very much. It was a real pleasure to come here today and do this.
Thank
I
you.
thoroughly enjoyed it.
I did too. Well, all the best with your project
Thank you.
and your book.
Thank you.
And hopefully I'll see you when you're back.
I'll be back. Yes. That immortalized words of the great philosopher Arnold Schwarzenegger, I will be back.
Indeed.